Hi, I'm Duncan Moss. Going to make this video short tonight. I've got one question for you. Where are your keys? Where are your digital keys? Of course, these are house keys and car keys, but one of the things I spent some time on today was working on a website for a client where we just simply didn't have the keys. The password, the username, the credentials that let you manage your brand online. This is critically important. This is one of the 9 things that I think every business owner needs to know when it comes to managing their brand online, growing their brand online. And so there it is. That's really tonight's topic. Who holds the keys to your brand online? Now, the things like your domain, which is basically you register with a registrar, and then your hosting, which is where your website lives. So, your domain name is essentially not much more than a civic address on the internet, and hosting is, where you put the house, where your website lives. You need both of those things. That information for many business owners isn't necessarily something they use every day, but their webmaster or somebody who manages their website really does. But whoever has the key, whoever actually has whose username and email is on file with the registrar, with your hosting company, that's essentially who owns that domain or that hosting company or that hosting package. Whether it's your credit card or not that's on file, if it isn't your name, you can't get back in there. They won't communicate with you if it's not your address, your email address, and your name that's actually on file. This happens a lot, and it can be a big problem later if you decide that you, have a falling out with your web designer, don't like the work they're doing, and want to hire somebody else, and it's their name and their email address that's on what is essentially your brand, your online property. They've got the keys. The strategy here, is basically to make sure that any web designer, anybody who's working even in social media, is essentially a guest in your house, that you hold the master key, if you will, and then you're giving them permission to go in and work, but that at any time that you don't like what's going on, you decide to change providers, that you have the last word with respect to what's going to happen there. This is a very frequent problem, and if you're trying to actually grow your business online, if you're dependent on your website, on social media to grow business, contact with customers, and you don't have the keys, you're in serious trouble. This is just one of 9 things that I think every business owner needs to know when it comes to growing their brand online. Here's the list. Researching your brand name, securing your online credentials. That's what I'm talking about tonight. Choosing a good hosting provider, backing up everything that's out there on the internet, particularly your website, and independently, not just backing it up where it lives, but backing it up in in a place where you can download it and essentially reconstitute your website or your brand assets in another location. Then there's, adopting brand best practices. I'm not getting into that tonight, but it's something you should know about. Employing content management software rather than proprietary software. Avoiding tyranny and demanding transparency and training. In other words, that no matter who's working for you, they should be able to demonstrate what it is they're doing, so that if you have to go in and make small changes or hand the job off to somebody else, you know how it works. Sort of like driving a car. You don't need to know how to fix the motor to drive the car. Number 8 is to register your business or your brand legally. So just because you own a domain name doesn't mean that you have a right to that name. In fact, somebody else could, in fact, own the trademark. You need to be careful about things like that. And then to develop a brand platform strategy. And that goes beyond just managing your website, but how all of your digital assets connect, your advertising, your social media, YouTube, Twitter, those kinds of things. So that is really the short course tonight. If you want to know more about this kind of stuff, and again, sort of what to do and how to get your keys back if you don't have them, you can visit brandpowerbuilder.com. and I've got a quick reference guide there. I think if you just go to the page, it looks like this, and you can push this button to get the quick reference guide. The detailed description of what I call a power brand is here inside this video. You can watch that and learn more about these 9 steps in detail. And there's an opportunity there if you need more help, if you want a blueprint to a power brand. You can fill in a small form. We'll respond, have a conversation, a phone call about how you can, in fact, get control of your brand online, grow it, secure it, develop it. So that is the short course tonight. I'm not going to waste your time other than to say that you need to have the keys to your digital domain. You need to be in control of those as a business owner. If you're not, you're putting your online brand, your store online, in jeopardy. And I really hope that tonight, this very brief description of one of the 9 key points that you need to make sure your brand is secure and that you can grow it is useful to you. I'm Duncan Moss. Happy to answer any questions that you have. And certainly if you've got any comments or suggestions, please let me know. I'm interested to know who actually has an interest in brand building, in brand security, and the problems or issues that you've had. I'd be curious to know more. I've been doing this for 10 years now. I have a pretty good idea what, as I say, the 9 basics are, but if there's new issues that don't fall into those categories, I'd be very interested to know. So please stay in touch. Come on back. Subscribe to the email channel. Follow me on Facebook. And come on back, and there'll be more of the same that I think you're going to find useful in protecting and growing your brand. And that's really just my mission, is one website at a time to help people get control of what, in fact, they own, and that they're not going to get hijacked or webjacked or find themselves orphaned out there in the wild, wild west of the internet. So that's it for tonight. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.